how do you stay on top of all this with all the knowledge base that you're building, and like how do you distinguish the signal out of the noise? It seems like sometimes it's like informational overload, right?
I read this really good uh, thought piece a couple weeks ago, and it's basically talking about like how time has gone from actually focusing on like time of day for when you were a farmer and like you had to wake up at a certain time and go to sleep at a certain time because you only had so much sunlight, to really being more about productivity, to like making it like when you're in that focus state, like you actually don't have any real perception of time. And they were saying that like the workflow right now with AI is like the 10x multiple of that flow state, where you're not really in the same flow state anymore. You're kind of like, those Japanese bullet hell games where it's just like your
Hmm.
little fighter at the bottom and you're like shooting like missiles everywhere, trying to kill everything. And it's like way too much for anyone to actually understand what's going on unless they're like super dialed in. That's what it feels like to work with AI these days, where you have 20 different things going at once. If you have ADHD, this is like the hardest thing to even do, is just like figure out what's going on. And sometimes I do get lost in the sauce, but it's like expected, right? So it's like to manage those things, I think it's just like what I'm doing here. For simple things, I'll start in the terminal, or I'll start in like Cloud's native app in their co-work tools. And then as I scale, if I see myself creating more instances of Cloud to address the same thing that I'm thinking about, then I'll
Uh-huh.
move to a more complex tool like the CMUX tool here, or like Conductor, where I can like parallelize things. And like in this view, I can just see like everything in under agents prototype, if I spin up a bunch of them, is all related to this like one thing that I'm working on. And this view makes much easier to sort of just like have everything running. I can have like four prototypes running at once and still keep on top of the things that I'm trying to focus on. Uh, so I think the long story to me is like when I start, I usually try to start simple within some sort of terminal where it's like single thread. And the more threads I create, the more I feel the urge to move to a tool that specializes in that